Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic Friday, wherever you are around the world. And welcome back, of course, to the latest Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. Of course, do let me know how all of you are in the comment section down below. Now, I know before anybody does start anything, I know normally Friday nights is, or the day or the weekend, or the day before the weekend is normally our match preview show. Again, the match preview will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. That's the time frame I think we're working around. The Spurs match preview show will be tomorrow, but of course we are here to discuss, of course, about the thumbnail and the title, and that is Alphonso Davies' potential move to Liverpool. Again, there's been a report that's come out today suggesting that Liverpool, or I should say, Alphonso Davies is open to a move to Liverpool and obviously a move away from Bayern Munich. And of course, we'll discuss that in due course as well. Of course, we've got other bits and pieces of news tonight as well. It's not just one topic in particular. It is multiple things we are going to be talking about. Of course, we're going to be talking about Ryan Jersky as well. Again, there's been an update in the last few moments about his future, and again, who is potentially interested in him. And of course, we'll discuss as well the League Cup semi-final draw. Of course, Liverpool did get drawn against Spurs, which I think, some people might be happy with, some people might not be happy with. I know Spurs fans are definitely not happy that they've got Liverpool in the next round of the League Cup. But look, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below as well. But again, let me know how all of you are down below as well. But big up Mark as well. Hope you're doing well. Saying, how are you doing, Connor? Well, I'm do you know what? I'm very, very good, and I'm happy. I'm good. I'm excited for this weekend's football, but I'm not physically great, lucky. So today I had a little bit of an accident and I've completely battered my knee. So my knee looks awful right now, but apart from that, I'm very good, thank you, Mark. Hopefully you're doing well as well. But evening, John, as well, saying good evening, Connor. Don't believe we will sign him because of his wage demands. What's your opinion? I will get back to that in a moment, but hopefully doing well, John, as well. Mark's in, obviously Mark already says Mark's in. Spurs was the better draw for us, to be fair. I would also agree, 100% I would agree. Perfect outcome from Damo. I think Spurs beat United, but had to go flat out until the last minute before they play us, which again is great, isn't it? And look, that is pretty much a good starting point to talk about. Again, and we'll kickstart things off then in terms of the news and talk then about the League Cup. And then if you guys again want to discuss that for a moment, of course, as I think all you guys can pretty much say again, as Damo's put there, perfect outcome for us. And going into the weekend, it is pretty much a perfect outcome for Liverpool, considering again they had to go all out, didn't they, against the United towards the end of that game. In particular, and look, looking at it, going, into the season, of course, us playing them now 3 times over the next month or two, that's going to be very interesting as well in terms of again title hopes and top 4 race as well. Because Spurs, I think, will think that they can go on to at least challenge for 4th, I think, this season, considering again all the teams that are around there at the minute. Obviously City not doing great neither, so I think at the moment, of course, there is an open field for whoever can get 4th spot as well anyway. But I think just briefly talking about the draw itself, of course, on the other hand, of course, you got Newcastle against Arsenal, of course, more recently, especially up Newcastle. Arsenal haven't added their own weight there as of late. I think the last 2 seasons in the Premier League, I think they've ended up losing their 1-0 as well. So again, the fact that draw as well is a very, very tough draw for both teams. I think, look, Liverpool, I think the game against Spurs will suit us more against an Arsenal or Newcastle, because I think we saw, didn't we, that I think for Newcastle and Spurs, I think they can go all out in this competition, because again, look, it is pretty much a trophy that they will aim to go and get. Not to say that Arsenal and Liverpool won't, but again, Liverpool, we have a Premier League and Champions League to try and go on and chase. Arsenal obviously will be desperate to win something under Mikel Arteta, but I think for the likes of, again, Ange Postecoglou and of course Eddie Howe, they will be desperate to win this competition. I think probably Spurs as well. Of course, Spurs again on a slot being very, even in today's press conference, talking and praising Spurs in many ways. Again, Spurs will be massively desperate, won't they, for to go on to win a trophy. But I think equally Newcastle will as well. But I think overall it is a good draw for Liverpool. And look, it will be a very, very attacking two-legged game as well. So look, I'm very intrigued to see what type of team we put out as well, and considering where Liverpool might be in a couple of weeks' time as well. So look, we'll have to wait and see, won't we, chat as well. But I think it's a really, really good draw anyway. But oh no, try to take it easy, mate, as well. I hope so. Really. Again, I hope I can do, but of course Christmas is coming up, and that. But I took an arrow to the knee, I suppose. If it means that Mo Salah and Trent and Virgil can sign new deals, then I will happily take an arrow to the knee. Put your feet up this weekend, Con. To be fair, that's all I'm doing this weekend is watching football. I'm not doing anything else. Spurs want some silverware, 100%. I think they're desperate for it as well. But you see those keepers last night. Shocking. And it makes you glad in some way that we've got, you've got Queen Kelleher and you've got Alisson, and Liverpool already getting, of course, the next best in Mamadashvili, but awful goalkeeping last night. Fraser Foster, I had no clue what he was doing halfway through the game. But yeah, I think especially obviously, I know United fans have kind of slated that Turkish goalkeeper, or the goalkeeper that was in last night. I think the only goal you can realistically blame him for, I think, is the fourth goal. I just think he's too weak in that situation. Look, maybe if that was against Liverpool, maybe we might be shouting at different ends. But I think that's just poor on the goalkeeper more than anything. So that's just my thoughts anyway. But are the links to Jersky and Davies credible? So we'll get into that now anyway. As well, big up Cameron as well. Hope he's doing well, mate. Saying remember Karius and Mignolet, we had some bad days. We did. I'm not. To be fair though, Adam Bogdan. Adam Bogdan is twice as worse than both of them combined. And yeah, it's horrible days we've had at Liverpool goalkeeping over the years, and we've been very fortunate over the last 6, 7, 8 years of Alisson Becker as well. So I say 6, 7 years, it's only been probably 7 years now of Ali as well. But David says, be careful, I can't remember how things turned out for Nabil Fekir. Jesus Christ, we all remember that deal, don't we? Demo, to be fair. But no, we'll get on then to the Alphonso Davies stuff then, because I know this is where everyone is here for. Of course, anyway. So Christian Falk, of course, a Bayern Munich reporter, did come out today. Let me quickly get this on screen for you guys. And of course, came on and had his say on it as well, in terms of Alphonso Davies leaving Bayern Munich this season. So if you guys can see that on screen right now, I will make a big screen for you guys. So that's what he did go on to say, saying, true, Alphonso Davies is open to a potential transfer away from Bayern Munich to Liverpool. Liverpool could get a meeting with his agent over the signing of Alphonso Davies. Now, in this article piece, it is from, of course, Caught Offside. And in this article piece, what it does go on to refer is that, again, Manchester United are interested in Alphonso Davies as well as Real Madrid. But it, I'm just going to quote the article piece by where it does go on to say, this is what he is told, again, Bild in his article piece. So Christian Falk has said that, true, Alphonso Davies is open to a potential transfer away from Bayern Munich. The Bild reporter informed Caught Offside in his exclusive Fact Files column, saying it's not 100% fixed on Manchester United or Real Madrid. I heard that talks with Bayern at the moment are on ice until January. His agent will talk to any interest from top clubs in the new year. When Hosen, I think his name is, I think that's Alphonso Davies' agent, is on his tour of England, Liverpool could get a meeting with him. It would be be a good club for Davies, of course, given the play of the style of football that would suit him. Liverpool naturally have a chance. So he did go also to say that in the article piece, which again you can interpret that and go in again. Pretty much again free agent he would be in terms of, again, we talk about Trent, Salah and Van Dijk being free agents. Of course, having an Alphonso Davies on a free transfer, that would be pretty good going as well, if that could be the case. But he did also go on to say, this is his own words in the article piece, saying, I think Manchester United and Real Madrid are more concrete by comparison at this point in time. Bayern are also applying pressure to sign him to a new contract. There's still hope of the making in this work. So Liverpool are still in the race if they want him this summer. So basically what it wants to say, again, Manchester United and Real Madrid, again, they are there or thereabouts. But of course, with Liverpool looking like they're going to be entering the race for a new left back, whether or not Alphonso Davies would enter that conversation is another circumstance. Now, again, I would probably think, considering, again, Alphonso Davies, I think for me, would be brilliant, under this new management. I do think, under Arne Slot, he would be unbelievable on the left hand side. We know that of course, that he likes to have fullbacks that can, underlap and overlap and pretty much add more volume to the attacking phase of play. Of course, Robbo is now slowly entering the twilight years of his Liverpool career. I think everybody has recognised that Liverpool need to sign a left back over the next 6 to 12 months, which, again, I think if it's possible, Liverpool should definitely address that position in January, if, of course, that's possible. And, of course, I think, as we said a couple of weeks back, Alphonso Davies is pretty much one of the top three left backs you could potentially go for in the summer. Of course, and we know Real Madrid, of course, they're interested in him because, again, it being a free transfer. But I do think with Alphonso Davies, it's very interesting in terms of, again, you're going to be able to see where, again, would he stay with Bayern Munich at the moment? Again, like I just read out, again, that at the present moment in time, it seems to be going cold because, again, I think as somebody mentioned in the chat earlier on, I think the wage demand of Alphonso Davies isn't what Bayern Munich also are trying to look at and trying to matching at the present moment in time. Of course, Liverpool in that same aspect, I think that's why a deal is most likely not going to happen as well, because of the wage structure and the way that, again, if Alphonso Davies was to come into the football club and the demand that he would probably expect as well, Liverpool, you'd probably think, would look around the 180, 200k mark potentially, because he's a free transfer. But again, the rumours at the moment that Alphonso Davies wants around 250,000 pounds per week, and I don't think Liverpool would exceed that. I don't think Liverpool, for me anyway, I don't think Liverpool would do that. But again, with him being on a quote free transfer, again, I do think that Liverpool would definitely have a look at him. And if there is potentially options there, and then of course there's a little bit of wiggle room, I think that would be very intriguing. But I do also feel like if I was to put money on it right now, being a betting man, if I was to say where is Alphonso Davies going to go, and what direction do I believe Alphonso Davies would be at, I would say Real Madrid. I do think, even though they've got Ferland Mendy, even though they've gone, I think they've got Fran Garcia as well. I do think if you've got that, availability of signing an Alphonso Davies, again, wages are not a problem for Real Madrid. Quite clearly, we've seen this, haven't we? In terms of, again, Mbappe, Vinny Jr., these types of players that are probably on, €1 million plus per week. That is something, again, there's no issue for them, or no issue for that type of team. But I do think for Liverpool, again, we're not going to be exceeding an extraordinary amount of wages just purely based on him being a free transfer. I think, of course, Liverpool would stay pretty much themselves. I think for me, looking at it, I would be very much surprised if Liverpool did it. But in also saying that mind, of course, if Arne Slot demanded somebody like an Alphonso Davies, or said, look, he's the guy for me to push this team even further, would the club try and break the structure again? I'm not so sure, but again, we'd have to wait and see. But I think, of course, Alphonso Davies is on the list, but I think for me, and chat, let me know your guys' thoughts. I think Kerkez would still be my number one at the moment, just purely based on, again, age, profile, and again, just overall the fact that Liverpool, again, on terms of wages, wouldn't have to, again, exceed what I think Liverpool would be willing to pay for. But again, Alphonso Davies is a very, very, very close second, because the player that Liverpool could get, again, you could destroy teams. So you look at Bayern Munich and how they have destroyed teams, certainly in the Champions League, and of course the Bundesliga over the years with Alphonso Davies. I think if Arne Slot could have a player like that in this team, it could be absolutely devastating for, again, the rest of the Premier League, and could, again, unlock another kind of style that Liverpool would like to bring out, maybe, of course, as well. But look, it will be interesting. But I would be shocked if Liverpool did move on in terms of, again, over the £200,000 per week structure as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, because of course there is a poll in the chat as well, whether or not you guys think he's going to join anyway. But be careful, Con. Remember how I read that one out. Apologies, Damo. John says, hi, Con. Thoughts on Morton and Trainioni, both very tidy and neat. Endo, also a warrior. Yeah, again, I think Arne Slot spoke about them both, didn't he, in terms of the two of them have been pretty much, keeping healthy with the squad. And I think even I think he joked a little bit today about Endo and his performance and how well he did against Southampton, at centre back. So it gives other options, of course, to whether or not, of course, he would play centre back. I think that's an option, but I think we just have to wait and see on that one, to be fair, anyway. But again, apologies if you can hear beeping outside. It's just something out there. But yeah, that's that then. Let me quickly go back up. Yeah, very bleak as well. No chance for 200k per week. I would be in agreement with that 100%. I think that would be the case as well, for sure. Mark says, yeah, as well. Mark says, Slot has to get the team he wants, so maybe can save money by selling players that don't fit his way of playing. True. I would also agree with that. I think I think Endo will leave Liverpool next summer, but again, that would only be the case if Liverpool was to sign someone then in that aspect. Like, Liverpool need to go and sign. Liverpool need to go and sign a number 6, quite plain and simple in that aspect as well. But what else do we have? Callum says, Davis, not for me. Guy is awful these days, as well, says Cal, as well. Big up Cal, doing well. Hato is one of the has the one go for. Bournemouth will want silly money for Kerkez. Nori more likely. I don't want Nori now. I did when the Alonso rumours were true, but for me now, I don't want Nuri. I think Nuri would be perfect at United. Sadly, I do think he would be really good there, for sure. But what else do we have? Can't forget the UCL performance against City. True, very, very true. But look, I think Liverpool will sign the perfect left back for what we want. I got no doubts about that. Totally agree. Kerkez is the profile we look at. Also, Dom, international teammate. Yeah, 100%. Would 100% agree with that. Daryl says Kerkez for me. Kerkez and Zubimendi wins the league. Yeah, I can't argue against that at the present moment in time. I'm just trying to think. If you're trying to think who else you could go on to sign. I'm just trying to think. Who else could Liverpool sign that could add something to it? I'm not so sure. Kerkez, Zubimendi, Jerski potentially as well. I'd be interested. A Balba, yeah, Balba's another one for sure. You could go on to add anyway. But let me quickly, of course, bring up this piece as well. So we're going to change it up anyway, chat, and we're going to talk about, of course, Ryan Jersky, I should say. Anyway, now, according to Fabrice Hawkins of, again, the French outlet, reporting again tonight that Liverpool, again, PSG will not be signing Ryan Jersky. Liverpool are showing interest, which, again, is a bit of a weird one, like we mentioned last night. Again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, because I think it's an interesting one. Again, like we spoke about last night, there's just no need for him. You know, we don't need this profile of player. Like I would think so anyway. I don't think Liverpool need to go on to get this type of player. I don't think Liverpool need a 10, you know, if that makes sense. I don't think we need to go out and make this type of signing, but I think it would be interesting to see whether or not, again, does this mean that somebody's leaving the football club? Does it mean that, again, you know, Liverpool looking at a certain option in this aspect of things? I would agree with this though as well. You know what Daryl's saying there. Jersky is a smokescreen, 100%. I would also agree with that. I think it's mainly probably a report that's just getting out there. But again, these people that are reporting it at the minute are very, very reliable people. You know, again, in terms of the French market and the French media, they are, again, for me, just judging and looking at it, they are reliable people that you do listen to. But again, there is a big part of me that's also like, yeah, Liverpool are just being played at the minute, or like the Liverpool names being used a bit too much in that aspect of things as well. But Mark says, don't trust any of these reports. I agree. I would also agree with him. But again, they are being reported by reliable people. So, I'm torn at the moment anyway. But Cam says, Nkampi should be on our books and pay heavy fee, because I fear Xavi takes Nkampi to Real Madrid. I don't rate him for me. I look at it and go, if Liverpool played a back three, then sure, but I think Arne Slot has been quite vocal already, you know, in terms of, again, even if Liverpool lose Trent, I think Liverpool want a traditional right back. They don't want Jeremy Frimpong, for example. We don't want somebody who is going to, again, not bomb up and down the wings, but somebody who is, again, known as a wing back and nor a right back in that sense. But again, we could be pleasantly surprised with what Arne Slot wants in the summer, or even in January. We could very much be prepared for that, and hopefully we do as well. But Tara saying, I'm prepared for no signings in January. It's FSG. Yeah, look, we could all be surprised in January. Liverpool could literally go on to sign Zupimendi, for example, you know, on January 1st. But again, if we woke up January 1st and Mo Salah signed a new contract, I wouldn't be disappointed with the rest of the season ahead. But then also saying that, mind, if it starts going downhill, that then opens up a different question to, again, what Liverpool might actually want or are missing at the moment. We need a few just to bolster the squad. Absolutely, 100%. FSG, fast, stingy group. True, you know, very, very true. Dal says, my ideal window in summer would be Nunez and Robbo gone, Kirkez, Zupimendi in January, and Marmouche in the summer. It would be interesting. I think, for me, I think Marmouche is definitely someone at the moment who is the flavour of the month. I think for me, he is very much like a Luka Jovic, if that makes sense. Like, again, Luka Jovic was probably one of the best informed strikers going in the world, and got removed to Real Madrid because of it. As soon as he moved to Real Madrid, it all fell apart, you know, and it went completely downhill. I feel like Omar Mamouche could be that again. I'm not saying he is, because look, every player is different and every circumstance is different. But I do think with a player like that, you do have to be cautious, because you could end up signing him for 40, 50 million pounds and then it doesn't work, and he never was the one, and you never go on to sign a player like that ever again. And I think that could be something similar with Marmouche. But that's just my thoughts and my opinion. Anyway, but what's Daryl also saying? I'd be disappointed. Our squad is simply not strong enough to compete for everything. I would agree. I think, goalkeeper wise, we're sound. Right back, we're sound. Centre backs, we are struggling a little bit. You've got Gomez. You've got Ibu. You've got Virgil. If Virgil van Dijk was to get injured, that's such a huge loss for Liverpool. Left back, I think we're struggling. I think Robbo being out injured, or Robbo not performing well. Sorry, I think that's a massive problem for us. Costas coming back could be good. But again, an upgrade is needed. Defensive midfield, Gravenberch. If he got injured, that's a big problem for Liverpool. Maka, exact same. But the front three, I think, or like the front load, I think, is Liverpool's best in quality, because again, you've got Mo Salah there, you've got Jota, Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo. But again, I would say certainly DM and left back is a main problem for Liverpool. I would agree with that. Gakpo, Diaz, Núñez, Salah, Jota, Chiesa, all available Sunday. 6 up top slot, please, as well, says Callum. Could you imagine it, Cal? But no, absolutely not. I don't think we're going to be doing that, like all-out attack. Certainly against Spurs, anyway. I think you need some defensive reassurance. But to be fair, that could just be Virgil van Dijk as well, anyway. But Mark says we are a big club and should be doing deals each window. True. I agree with that to some extent. I think the one thing I would always say, Liverpool, like, we need to be ambitious, if that makes sense. Like, we need to be able to go full on in the market. Like, we need to turn around and go, oh, if that position is what we need, then go out and get it. But again, we wait 6 months and then hope then that player's available for a bit cheaper. I don't like that myself. But look, who knows who we're going to go with in the summer. But John says, do you think Slot will want signings and pressure the owners? I really hope so. I want the owners to show ambition. Yeah, I think if he thinks there is something or someone out there, then yeah, I would agree. I think he will do that. But I think you have to wait and see. I think you have to, the left back situation, I think at Liverpool, I think Robbo is clearly not good enough now. Like, and I do believe that. I don't think, like, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, Andy Robertson's completely tarnished his Liverpool history and what he's done. I'm completely not saying that, because look, what Andy Robertson has done, and again, us signing him for £8 million, and him being the best left back in world football for a period of time, again, will go to show how good he was for Liverpool. But I think since 2022, Robbo has been on the decline slowly. But again, that's not his fault, because again, it happens to all footballers. But at the same time as well, Robbo's been playing an unbelievable amount of football since probably 2019. He's been playing 51, 55, 50, even 60 odd games a season for club and country. And again, that will take it out of it. That will slowly bite it out, and that's what's happened. And it is unfortunate. As well, but yeah, I would also agree. Shanks and Paisley would have crucified FSG if they were alive. True, very, very true. What is somebody doing outside my door? Bloody hell. big money has ruined the game. Yeah, 100%. I would agree. I think a lot of things have ruined the game, realistically, haven't they, Mark? But look, I think everyone, for sure, will be having different conversations on many things anyway. But the good indication of more games can't be good. 100%. I can agree on that 100%. But look, actually, to be fair, I'm just looking to see if there's any more news that I've missed from today. Hang on a minute. Is there anything that I've missed? As far as I know, there hasn't been. But yeah, no, I do think FIFA, UEFA, they have to sort things out in terms of minutes played. They have to. Has the derby been confirmed yet, Con? No, but I think it's the 11th of February. I think. I'd be surprised if it wasn't that now, considering I think they're just waiting for UEFA clearance at the minute. So again, the 11th of February is what's being spoken about at the minute, anyway. But we'll have to wait and see on that, of course. But I think overall, looking at the Alphonso Davies stuff and looking at the chat right now as well, and taking a look at the poll. Again, 53% says yes to Alphonso Davies will join Liverpool on a free transfer. Again, I'd be very intrigued to see whether or not that would happen. Never seen such a quick home and away derby turnaround. True. Actually, I think we had, 2007, or 2008. There was one, I think we played Everton, I think it was 4 times in about 3 weeks. It was somewhere around there. I'm not too sure when it was, but we had 3 or 4 games really close to each other as well. But again, have to wait and see, won't we? What does happen? But Damo says, didn't Ozzy also play in front of 5 for Spurs back in the day? Kilman, Sheringham, Bramley, probably. It probably did happen at some point. He didn't really bother defensive side. Look, does Spurs really play defensively? Like, realistically, they play what? Maddison, Kulusevski. I'm trying to think what else. Kulusevski, Solanke, Son, Brennan Johnson. Who else starts on a weekly base for Spurs? I'm just trying to think. It's a few players, it's a fair old players that do that. But I'd be surprised if they went with 5, against Liverpool. Showing my age there. To be fair, it's not a bad shout. To be fair, Damo, but I don't know. I'd be very surprised if Liverpool or Spurs did that. Even though I think both of them have spoken about the game on Sunday being very attacking. Look, we could see it, but I very highly doubt it, to be fair. But I fully expect Spurs to park the bus, but not a chance, Callum. Absolutely not a chance. Under Ange Postecoglou, who last night basically turned around and went, "No, I don't care about people criticizing the team as long as it was entertaining. I don't care." And that was pretty funny last night when he was saying that. To be fair. But look, it's actually really funny, the fact that Ange Post not got a clue. To be fair, I do think I think there's been Spurs fans as well. Like, we're talking a little bit about it. Obviously tomorrow will be the preview show will be tomorrow, but I do think Spurs. I think he will be under pressure come the end of the season if they don't win anything. But look, that's just my opinion. I'd be very surprised if he was in the job next season if he didn't win anything or got top 4 as well. But Damon says Arnie and Arnie and Honor and Ange could agree a pre-match for the first team to 10 goals wins it. True. Yeah, whoever gets that 10th goal wins the game. Spurs will come hard at us and leave them open. Yeah, 100%. I see that happening. I also see, to be fair, when you do look at it, I do think Spurs, I think especially looking at how the game developed on yesterday, I do think this Spurs team can be got at quite easily. And I'd be surprised if Liverpool didn't expose that anyway. But obviously, going back on the Alphonso Davies stuff anyway, of course, and let me know your guys' thoughts as well, because I've seen a couple of people mention it in the chat. If you could have the freelance of Liverpool, obviously going after somebody, whether that be in January or whether that be in the summer transfer window, who would you go for, or who is your top three at the present moment in time? Because I think for me, and I've said this a couple of days ago. I wish that beeping would bugger off. I think I said it a couple of days ago. For me, the three would be Milos Kerkez, Alphonso Davies, and Anthony Robinson. That would be my three. When you look at what is available, what could be available, I think, and ranking them, I'd go Kerkez, I'd go, and again, this is just left backs. I'd go Kerkez, I'd go Alphonso Davies, and then I would go Anthony Robinson. But I think Kerkez is the one at the minute, for sure anyway. But Cav's gone, in Cappy. I'm not on about general signings. If you're on about signings in January, then that's never going to happen. I'm so sorry to say, Cal, but that's never going to happen in January. But so you'd have Campy over Kerkez and Davies. Wow, really? I don't like that. Shout out, to be fair, but look, that's your opinion. But I don't think Liverpool are in the race now for Nkambi. I'd be surprised if we're in the race for him. I think somebody mentioned early on, I think Hato, is his name Hato, from excuse me, from Ajax. I think he's the one that might be the guy. But again, we have to wait and see on that aspect of things. But counts as a defensive left back for once. Balance it out potentially. Would be surprised. But look, I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool just need to address it first, though, and go, yeah, we need to pretty much be covered in this position going forward. Because look, at the present moment in time, again, you've got Robbo, you've got Costas, but we will need improving at some point. And I think that's important to, again, acknowledge the fact that, again, we have, that glaring miss in the squad at the present moment in time. Excuse me. But what is Mark says, we can't have one as well. True. Kanate and Van Dijk have bailed out Trent and Robbo so many times in the last 3 years. I would agree 100%. I think certainly this season, I think Robbo's been more of a liability than Trent. But of course, over the years, I think, of course, that could be obviously interpreted the other way. But I think this season especially, I think Trent's been defensively okay or sound. I think Robbo's been the real problem, I think, this year. Excuse me. And that does need improving, to be fair. But Mark says, I just see a versatile player that will fit that role and not a dedicated left back, says Mark as well. Again, I think, you could have it both ways, but I think for just what Slot wants, I think he prefers an out-and-out left back or somebody who can be that player to invert and obviously overlap and be that energy, in the team. But I think Kerkez, I think Kerkez and Alphonso Davies are quite similar. Excuse me, a couple of hiccups. I think they are both very similar in terms of their approach, and in terms of the play style that they are in. Obviously, Alphonso Davies has a lot more experience than Kirk has. Of course, Alphonso Davies being a Champions League winner, and of course has been at the top of European football for the last 5-6 years. In terms of again playing out and out at left back for Bayern Munich. So I think that's something as well that Liverpool might even consider. But I think overall for me, I think it's clear he's going to go to Real Madrid. And that's just, I think, like I said earlier, I think if I was a betting man, I would put money on Alphonso Davies going to Real Madrid than any other team in Europe, sadly, anyway. But I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, big thank you for everyone for tuning in to tonight's show. Like I said, tomorrow will be the match preview show for Spurs. Of course, we're going to discuss that tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So that will be after, I think, the Palace-Arsenal game. As well, so we will be live for that for you guys, of course. Let me quickly see the poll before we do shoot off anyway, because let me quickly check the poll. 56% says that Alphonso Davies will join Liverpool on a free transfer, and then 44% says no, he won't. So very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts as well. But hopefully you guys, they have enjoyed the show, of course. And like I said, tomorrow, please tune in, of course, to the post-match, the match preview show for, of course, the Spurs game. Of course, and now, of course, Sunday will be the post-match straight after the footy as well on Sunday as well. But cheers, Con, as well, says Damo. And Mark says, thanks, Con. Take it easy, calm it down as well. Hopefully, I will do in a minute. To be fair, I'm going to go and sort this knee out now, to be fair. But Mark also says, and then again, do you pay more for experience or youth? Probably both now, because considering the fact that Chelsea spend 50, 60, 70 million on a fullback nowadays. So look, that's just sadly the way things have gone at the minute anyway. But look, if you have enjoyed, then of course, please feel free to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, guys. We are on the road to 2K. So again, if we can get there for the end of the season, that would be absolutely brilliant for you guys anyway. But until next time, that is going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Club Council. I'll see you tomorrow for the Spurs preview. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.